2025 has been super rough. I'm in a high conflict divorce and with multiple kids. So it's been extremely draining.
If I was trying to do this myself, I don't know how long it would last because it takes work. And everyone thinks, oh, it's easy. Shoot some video of yourself, throw it up on YouTube, and it's good to go. Well, no, it's not.
You take the blue pill, the story ends. You take the red pill, you stay in Wonderland, and I show you how deep the rabbit hole goes.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to ADHD Unfiltered. We are in episode 3 here, which is our special episode for New Year's. So happy New Year. Happy 2026.
Happy
And
New Year.
what? Oh,
Happy
yeah.
New
Happy
Year.
New Year. Yeah. We are praying that everyone has an excellent New Year and a great 2026, because I know Mike and I have both had a pretty rough 2025, and we're looking forward to starting the new year. And I don't know, Mike, let's just kind of jump into what was 2025 like. Let's start with that, and then we'll go into things that were good and positive, and then we'll go into 2026. So why don't you kick us off with, what were some of your struggles? And yeah, let's just do that. What were some of your struggles in 2025?
Well, 2025 has been super rough. I'm in a high conflict divorce and with multiple kids. So it's been extremely draining. So I'm definitely looking to get out of that and get into a new beginning. Yeah, it's been quite hectic. Everything that I knew as my life before this has been erased. Basically from now on it's going to be different and new. So I'm just trying to get involved in that and be able to proceed in that. How about you?
My 2025 started off really rough. 2024, which we'll get into later, but that was a high depression, anxiety year, probably one of my worst. And I found out in early 2025 that a big part of it, I think, was caused by a medication, not an ADHD med, but Singular, which is for asthma. I'm not 100% sure, but when I stopped taking it a month later, I felt great. That started it. And then, the recovering from that, I had a sinus surgery. I went through a lot of testing for some other stuff. Everything came back clear, so thank God for that. But it was just kind of a stressful year. And then I think one of the biggest exciting things was that you and I came together and came up with this podcast, and we're like, let's try to help the community, and let's bring some of our knowledge out to the rest of the world and try to help others. And both Mike and I are really hoping this thing takes off, because we have a lot of other plans. There's a lot of good stuff that it's just too early to implement yet. So hopefully you guys like our content and we can continue this. What about you, Mike? I know you had a really rough year, but is there any positives that you had from 2025?
Yeah, so it's probably been one of the roughest years of my life, and to even be able to be as far through it as I am now is amazing. Because even a few months back, I still couldn't find the light at the end of the tunnel to make it, But still not quite there yet, but inching closer every day. That's been awesome, and doing this is completely new, completely out of my comfort zone. So it's been interesting enough. I mean, never, ever really in front of a camera. So it's completely new. But yeah, it's definitely interesting. I'm excited to hopefully proceed in this. And then as far as a personal life, to get my ex to cooperate and be able to see my kids more. So if I can get those things lined up, I'm happy camper.
Yeah, for sure. And I know, excuse me, that's been one of your biggest things, just being such a good father and a loving father, and your ex holding your kids, let's say, hostage, at least a couple of them, and
Yep.
turning them against you in ways that is just unimaginable. Man, we've been talking for 2.5 years now, and I've been with you this whole ride since she left.
Yep.
And I've seen the downward spiral, and it's just, I can't even imagine. I really can't. So I am 100% praying for you for 2026, that things turn around and you guys can come to some sort of settlement and just finalize things, because dragging a divorce on for 1.5 years is just kind of ridiculous. It's so draining.
Yeah.
And it's terrible. It's terrible for the kids. It's just terrible for everyone.
It is.
I'm always praying for you, bro. Like,
Appreciate it. Likewise.
yeah, just to get this stuff under wraps and behind you, because I know you want nothing more than just move forward. And regardless of what moving forward is, whether it's this podcast and this, that, and that, your hands are
Yeah,
handcuffed right now.
completely handcuffed.
Yeah, yeah, and that's just not cool.
Yeah.
So,
So no,
yeah,
I'm excited. So I'm excited from this point on.
yeah,
I know I'm not out of the mess yet, but it's coming.
I know it'll happen. It'll happen soon. Hopefully, very soon, and then you can relax and be comfortable. And I wouldn't wish what you're going through on anyone. It's just terrible.
I wouldn't wish it on my worst enemy, to be honest with you. It's been
Yeah.
that bad.
Yeah. So when I think about historically New Year's for me, it's like I tried the resolution thing many, many years ago. And that just is a kind of a joke. Everyone has that New Year's resolution of going to the gym and working out, doing this, starting a business and doing that. You know what? With ADHD, it just all goes out the window. And some people say, oh, new year, fresh start. Well, that doesn't work. That doesn't really work for us, at least in my opinion. How about you?
Absolutely not. Even if I made a resolution, I'll forget it 10 minutes later. Yeah. I mean, I guess as far as making actual resolutions, I've really never done it. Maybe when I was 5 or 6, but no, I'm just excited for it to be a new year and just in general. I think
And
it's going to be
sorry, why do you think that, I'm speaking in general right now, and if you guys with ADHD have had success with resolutions and stuff like that, please leave us a comment, let us know, because it hasn't worked for me. Sounds like it hasn't worked for Mike, but why do you think that is, Mike?
I think for me, I can only speak for myself. For me, I think any resolution that I would set up, it's usually so far out of grasp that it's not a hands-on thing for me. So I could say, oh, I'm going to eat healthier, and that's going to last what, in 30 minutes? Because I'm going to forget and order the pizza anyway. I, I I have a hard time thinking that far ahead. I mean, everybody wants to do something better, healthier, but then reality hits and it's the next crisis I have to deal with. And then that focus locks on that and not what I'm trying to hope for. I don't know about you, but that's kind of how I have to live it.
Yeah, I need concrete, and like you said, thinking too far ahead just doesn't work in my world. If you think about day by day or minute by minute, hour by hour, it's easier to break stuff down and maybe try to stick with something. But to me, I just get distracted and it just doesn't work. And I'm kind of that all or nothing guy. And I don't know about you or ADHD in general. I think a lot of people seem to be like, I'm either all in or it's nothing. And my wife historically has always said that to me. She's like, it's all or nothing with you. Like there's no gray area. And she's absolutely right. Like if I commit to something, I have to go all in, but I'm not going to commit to it if I don't think I can succeed, because that is a vicious backlash and a letdown to me when I fail. And that's part of the ADA brain. It's like if I think I can succeed or if I believe in something, I will commit all 100%. Otherwise, don't even bother trying. I mean, has that been your experience?
Yeah. Yeah. So for me to commit to something in my head, it's almost like a scale of percentages. I know that if you see me committing to something, there's a pretty good chance that it works. And if for something tells me in my brain that it's, even if it's a decent amount of no, then it's out the window. It has to be a pretty good chance that it can happen. But yeah, I mean, like you just mentioned your wife and you go all in and it kind of drives her nuts. When I met my soon to be ex-wife, 4 days into the relationship, I had sat her and her family down and let them know I'm different. I have ADD, ADHD, and all this, and I laid it all out on the table. So yeah, I tried to be upfront with it, and it has got me to here. Not that it's in a great spot, but we're doing good now. But yeah,
I think with ADHD, time doesn't magically give us executive function. Like there's so many things. There's no compensation. It's not like, oh, well, if I wait or if I do this, it doesn't work that way. This stuff is lifelong. It is, especially if you're newer diagnosed later in life as an adult, and it's like a shock to the system. And you're happy and you're mad. You're happy that, okay, now I can look back and I have a reason of why I did this, why I did that. But then you're also angry. You have to deal with that anger because you wish you were diagnosed 20, 30 years earlier. It's like, why did I have to go through all this? Why did it take this long to get diagnosed? And that's a real struggle. I mean, even me getting diagnosed late 20s, it was like, man, the things I could have done, the things I would have changed even back then. And then you spend years trying to accept and deal with this new diagnosis that you know nothing about and kind of pull the rug out from under you. It's crazy.
Yeah.
So with that being said, let's look at some good positives for 2025. Like, what is one thing that you would say in 2025 was a good thing that happened? And I know it's tough for you because you have a really rough year.
Well, so far the best thing has been we sat down and communicated and we decided to do this. I mean, honestly, if anything that I've gone through, anything that you're gone through or going through, if it can help somebody else, then it's definitely worth it. This is definitely out of my comfort zone, but it's exciting. So I think it's a huge thing for 2025 to finish the year and starting with this. It's huge for me. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. No,
how
I
about you?
totally get it, man. Like with ADHD, it's hard for us to actually follow through with anything. And especially since we're remote, we're not sitting, we can't physically sit with each other and push each other to do this. And, I'm tired some nights. I don't feel like doing it, but we got to push ourselves. And that's what's, I think, good about having that other person is to really push, you can push each other, right? It's not, if I was trying to do this myself, I don't know how long it would last because it takes work. And everyone thinks, oh, it's easy. Put up, shoot some video of yourself, throw it up on YouTube, and it's good to go. Well, no, it's not. There's editing, there's coming up with the scripts, outlines, and all that stuff, and publishing. By the way, if anyone, we are out on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. So if you want to listen in the car, it will be available there. Got that done. Pushing out to YouTube or I'm sorry, Facebook, and TikTok and Instagram to really, really spread the word and grow the brand. It all takes time and it's exhausting. So I agree, man. I'm super stoked about this whole thing. I'm glad we got it out into 2025, fresh going into 2026. So, fingers crossed you all like
Yeah.
this. And if you like what you see so far, please just leave a comment, say, hey, dig what you guys are doing. Like, really appreciate it. Like those little things are a dopamine hit for us, right?
Yeah.
You agree, Mike?
Yeah.
Because if we
And I
don't
could
get
use a few more.
if we don't get any positive feedback, it's like, well, we're just sitting here. It's like, why are we doing it? So even those little comments, if you like what you hear, like, please just don't be shy. Send them over. Like,
Yeah. Feel free to ask some questions too, because we can go on some crazy rides with a few questions. I'll tell you that right now,
yeah,
for sure.
yeah, for sure. So, we've touched on a few things now. What do we not want to carry into 2026 and baggage wise? Now, obviously you're divorced. You can't control that. Knowing your 2025 and knowing my 2025 and all the times we have helped each other out, off a ledge or in many different scenarios, what are a couple of things you want to leave behind and don't want to carry or do in 2026?
Well, it's more than a couple things. It's really one big one, which should be just to refine myself and who I am and who I'm going to be now. Because everything that I was, everything that I knew is now different. I know it's just basically one thing, but it covers so many different topics, so many aspects of my life. Every inch of it's now going to be different. So I'm trying to go forward with a positive attitude with it because there's new possibilities that I never, like what we're doing right now. This was never something that was a possibility before. It would have never been anything I thought about. So just in general, bringing a little more positive to my situation because it has been so negative is a huge thing for me. Beyond that, I'm not even concerned right now. That's my main thing. Just adding positivity to it and just letting it grow. It's awesome so far. So how about you?
Perfect sense. I go back and forth with this question a lot all the time. And I think one of the main things that I carry, the baggage that I carry year after year after year, being 48, I'll be 49 in January. So actually like in a week and a half, I've had I've had some big successes, but I've had so many failures that I don't want to bring along the fact that I feel like I always should be further ahead. Now, should I? Absolutely. But with ADHD, there is that challenge. There's those roadblocks you hit all the time. There's things you can't overcome. There's delays, there's pauses, there's everything. So if you imagine this scene and what your life will be like in 5 or 10 years, for a neurotypical mind, that might be realistic. But what I've found over and over and over with a neurodivergent mind, with ADHD, with autism, with ADHD, it's just not practical. And I've beat myself up for so many years, so many times. And it's just to the point where now I'm like, you know what? I just have to keep pushing and hopefully it'll all fall into place, because otherwise I'm just pushing myself farther in anxiety and depression and all that other stuff that really I have some control over, but not 100% like other people. So I really want to try to let things go and just push forward, stay the path with what makes me feel good. And doing this podcast, we are looking to help others, and we are looking to share 100 years of combined knowledge with everybody else. And hopefully, other people can relate, and we just keep pushing forward. So that's kind of one of my biggest things.
I mean, not to interrupt or anything, but people have to remember this isn't something that we just lived. We're still actively living it. So, I mean, in an instance between me and you, just having another person that gets it and understands that can help add the motivation and help give a little extra push when you're almost done, you're exhausted. And no, we're going to do this, that means the world. And, other people need help to find that. Otherwise, you're lost. I mean, I'm going to be completely honest. I've been lost before. So, and I'm sure you get lost in stuff before. You get lost in your head, in your feelings, and what you're doing. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's more than just our past experiences. We're actively living this.
That's right. We're adding new content daily because this isn't going away, right? It's like we live this, and we have to make decisions every day, and we have to. I think the hardest thing is sometimes living with your past and looking back and being like, well, I could have done this. I should have done this. Well, everybody feels that way. And there was a saying, a rear view mirror is so small is because you want to look at that small view in your past, but yet the windshield is very large because that's your future. And I'm not saying it 100% right, and I apologize, but it just came to my mind. And it's so true. It's like, looking forward, it's like we've got all this stuff, potential, and all this stuff we can do. I mean, Mike and I are just kind of touching on things, and my mind, I probably drove Mike nuts over the past month because my ideas just keep flowing and it's ridiculous. And Mike's like, dude, you need to slow down. Like, we need to focus on one thing. And he's absolutely right. I get excited and I get that hyper focus, and then I'm just go, 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 because I want to take advantage of that dopamine and that excitement, because that passion is short-lived sometimes. And we don't know how long it's going to last. Could last a day, could last a week, could last 30 seconds. Who knows? So, looking through that windshield forward, we have big visions. We have big things coming. And I'm tired. I'm guilty of living in the past terribly. And I don't want to do it anymore. So, Mike, any relation to that?
Yeah, no, 100%. I feel like everything, if I'm not progressing forward in some way, then I'm just literally stuck in the past. There's really no easier way to say that. I have to look at everything the same as you are. I have to get the dopamine hits from it. I have to be stimulated by it. And I am, or I wouldn't be here. I know you're in the same situation. Yeah, I don't want to be stuck in the past anymore. And that's a huge problem with the ADHD is you get stuck on how things are, how they were, and you kind of get sketched out about moving forward. I know for me, I would often catch myself saying, oh, I wish I could just be normal. But the truth of that is I honestly don't. I like who I am. I'm just trying to figure it out and keep going forward in new, exciting things. I mean, people don't know yet, but they'll catch on eventually. I've lived a lot for how long I've lived, and so have you. And I can tell you that most people haven't had some of the experiences that you and I have had.
100%. And, that brings up a good point, because one of the ADHD superpowers, although this is kind of catch-22 because what I love is I've got a million hobbies. I've had a million hobbies over the years. Now, that is also a curse, right? Because you can't stick with anything. And I cycle through, and sometimes I actually recycle hobbies later down the road because I'll get bored and I'll be like, oh, I haven't done that in a while. Let me go back to that. And that happens all the time. But having the desire to have all those hobbies, I think is huge because a lot of people don't. And it doesn't even matter if it's the simplest thing. I don't care if you take up knitting or if you go jump out of a plane. It doesn't matter. It's just I know. Thing. And for us as the neurodivergents, we need that dopamine hit. So wherever you find that, don't be ashamed of it. Run with it.
Yeah.
Go to the next thing and set one hobby down, come back to it. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that because there's that saying, jack of all trades, master of none, but that's not the whole saying. It's jack of all trades, master of none, but sometimes knowing multiple is better than one. It's pretty close to that, something like that. And I definitely am kind of the jack of all trades. I could fix anything, I could do anything, and I pride myself on that. Like it's just like I could pick up something tomorrow, watch a couple YouTube videos, and just jump into it. And it's like, all right, now I do it. And then I get to the point where I won't say I master anything. I get to that point where my mind says, okay, I'm happy with where I'm at with it. And then I probably get bored with it. And then it's on to the next thing. And historically, it's just the way it is. And I'm sure anyone listening has probably been through that same stuff. I'm sure you have too, Mike. What do you think?
Yep. And the end of that saying is oftentimes better than a master of one.
Yes, you nailed it. Thank you.
Yep. I had to get that out. I was stuck on it.
Yeah. No, thank you.
Sorry.
I could again, my index was broken. I couldn't recall it.
Yeah. I'm the same way. I got core habits, or what do you call them? Core hobbies. They've been there forever, but yeah, I dabble in some other hobbies every now and again. Yeah, 100%. I 100% agree with you.
I can't wait until we get into some of the later episodes where we talk about some of the hobbies we've been into. We both have two different sides of our hobbies, but they're all interesting. So it's going to be some fun stuff.
They cross over though, some of them.
Some of them do. Yes. That's how we know each other. So good stuff.
And I'm batshit crazy. It's that.
So again, we don't want to create resolutions, but we want to set some goals. And, I have a couple goals. One of them being, well, we kind of already tackled the 2025 goal I didn't plan, and that was getting this podcast out. So that was a big one, but we want to see this grow. We got all the other stuff planned for it. There's some other ventures I'm looking into that I'm hoping to execute very shortly to see what makes sense. I am planning and hoping, if I could find time with the million other things I have going on, I would like to get back on the ATV and race again in 2026. I found a local circuit about an hour and 15 minutes away. So I'm kind of prepping my bike for that. I am out of shape, so I need to jump on that like stat. But there's other things down the road, just always working with my family and making sure everyone's good and strengthening the bond with with my wife and daughter, because again, there's always relationship issues when you have ADHD and the other person doesn't. And there's always education, there's always learning, and don't be afraid. If you want to go to counseling, marriage counseling and stuff like that, absolutely do it, because my wife and I did it years ago and we might do it again, because I think the ADHD for me has gotten a bit worse as I get older, or it's just my mind has changed. I don't know. And I try to keep it under wraps. I try to stay calm. But again, if you are feeling any stress in your relationship, as Mike will tell you, going through a divorce, absolutely do what you can to take care of it. And don't be ashamed, because there's nothing to be ashamed about, truly. And Mike, you want to add anything to that, since I know you're going through this divorce after 19 years?
Well, yeah, 19 years married, 27 years together, and the ADD is a major factor in why we are getting a divorce, 100%. And it's one of those things where you have to stay on top of it and have a partner that is willing to be understandable, and it's key. And if you can't have that in somebody, it's probably not going to work. I'm the perfect example of that.
Yeah.
And I agree. As you age and get older, I'm not going to say it gets more progressive, but in a lot of ways, how you are with it gets a little more intense, for sure. I think I get stuck in. Go ahead.
I don't know about you, Mike, but I know there's one major kryptonite piece of kryptonite that I have in my life, that if that kryptonite builds and gets too close to me, I literally shut down. And I'm not going to get into that right now, but do you have something like that where there was like maybe one subject, one topic, one thing that really, really affected you and shut you down?
The divorce topic is one topic, but that's its own animal. For me, it would be the issues with my kids and being separated from my kids. It absolutely destroyed me.
Yeah, no, totally. With mine goes back many, many, many years. It's not just a recent thing, but we'll get into that later. And, I
Not
guess,
having not having an outlet right now for me is huge. It's hard.
yeah.
So hopefully in the near future I'll be back riding again and I'll have an outlet.
Yeah. And, people don't realize that, like for Mike and I, coming from the motocross and ATV world, like that is a huge outlet for us. It's a huge stress reliever. It is one way that we kind of keep our cool. So if that disappears and you're stuck in the house all the time doing the same thing day in and day out, it's not good. So if you have a
Well,
hobby like that or something you can do that you feel calms you and takes that stress away, or just takes your mind out of your mind for a little while, because and that's the excitement, not only with riding motocross and ATVs do we get a dopamine hit, it also takes us out of our own head. We have to
oh,
focus or we're going to crash, right? So
100%.
that hour of riding or that 2 hours of riding, or even if you make it a whole day with some buddies to go out and do something, your mind is just feeding off other stuff that normally is kind of crippling you stuck in the house or doing the same thing day in and day out. So take advantage of those. And trust me, it helps a lot.
Yeah, just you brought that up. That is the one thing that absolutely clears my mind. It is the only thing that empties my mind. I mean, it's the only thing that I've ever found to actually remove everything, slow everything down, and be able to focus on what you're doing at hand. In the situation I'm in now, I can't clear it, and even medication doesn't work. Yeah, so yeah, I 100% agree. It's a game changer for me to be able to focus and function as normal.
For sure. And when you're going through stuff that's super heavy or really deep, like you said, the medication, it may work a little bit, but it's not going to clear your head. And, I struggle to fall asleep every night. I sleep like crap, and that's one of my big pet peeves. So, again, we'll get into all that later, but, I guess, and I don't want to speak for you, Mike, and you can chime in, but we just want everyone to have, especially if you have ADHD or anyone going into the new year, just try to clear your head and get a fresh start. Don't try to overpromise yourself anything, because you're setting yourself most likely up for failure. Just go into stuff with more of a goal, and it could be a long-term goal, 6 months out, 3 months out, 8, 9 months out. It doesn't even matter, but set realistic goals and make them smaller. Don't say you're going to tackle the world in 3 months, because it's not going to happen. And even Mike and I, with doing this podcast, we had to chip away at it, and we're both nervous to do it. And the more we do it, it's getting more comfortable. And then we can bring you guys a more relaxed, I know even for me already, we've been third episode in, it's going to get easier, and we're going to be able to bring you, a more relaxed version of it, and the conversation will flow better. But it didn't start like that. We knew it wouldn't. We all have our own phobias to get over, and being on cameras is a big one for a huge percentage of the populations. Mike, props to you for actually following through and doing it. But yeah, just go into the new year with realistic goals, and don't spread yourself too thin. What are you going to add to that, Mike?
Yeah, this is huge for me, as you already know. I don't think I've ever stood in front of a class in grade school or high school and actually spoke. I just would take the F. So this is massive for me. So yeah, it's wild. It's exciting.
Yeah, and I believe with an ADHD mind, the more you can push yourself out of your comfort zone, and this is for normal minds as well. Like you push yourself out of your comfort zone. There was an interesting quote that I heard or saying one day. It was, if you take a look at, let's say you're going on vacation, let's say you're going on a road trip, you're going on a 5-hour road trip. If you notice, it takes a lot longer, seemingly, your perception of getting there takes a lot longer than getting back home. And that's because of perception and your mind. So let's say you've never been there before, and you're driving along and it's all new scenery and you're taking it all in and, you're jamming tunes with the family, you're all having a good time. So you get there, you have a great time. And now as soon as you turn around, especially if you take the same route, you're seeing all the same stuff over again for the second time. Now your mind has already processed it. And even if you aren't, your mind is thinking like, okay, the vacation's over, and you're thinking about real life again. You've now removed yourself from that experience. You're now back into your normal mindset. And the more new experiences, even older in age, you can subject yourself to, it actually seems to slow down time. Like if you were to do something new every single day, sure, the older we get, it seemingly moves faster, and we all know time is static. But that's a way to kind of slow things down versus when you're in that daily grind, daily routine, driving to work, driving home from work, it's like it goes by. Like 2025 went by in a heartbeat, right? So think about that in 2026. Like explore new things, do new things, go on a hike, do this. It doesn't even matter. It's just the more you can experience, your mind will absorb it and slow things down, at least for a short amount of time. Like even if it's for half a day, and then it reverts back. But it actually does kind of work. It's crazy. So I don't know if you ever experienced anything like that, Mike?
100%. I'm pretty much an adrenaline junkie. So doing the normal everyday stuff, like I don't even know, even going to like a baseball game or something is stuff that I've really never done. So doing this kind of stuff now is actually new to me at 50 years old. So yeah, just adding the normal everyday stuff for me is new because I've never done it, and it helps. Even if I don't have an interest in it, it clearly makes the time go by a lot easier. Even if it's stuff I'm not into, I'm open to trying it now where I wasn't before. And it helps. Without it, I don't know. Without it, it's just miserable. That's all I can say. Trying to do what I can do to get even the smallest dopamine hit helps.
Yeah, I just think with ADHD, it's like the more you push yourself, the better it keeps your mind occupied. Because otherwise you fall back in your normal routine and your rut, and your mind is just processing, and that's when you tend to hit depression and get that anxiety build up and all that stuff. So if you keep something moving, it definitely, for me anyway, I know it helps a lot, and that's why I have so many hobbies, because it's like, if I get bored, well, I'll get up and go try to do something, even if I fail at it, or I don't want to say fail, but even if I go out and do it for 30 minutes and then get bored with it and go to the next thing. It doesn't matter. It's like, at least I got up and did something. I'm not sitting on the couch all day. So,
yeah.
All right. So we're going to wrap this one up, but, we hope you guys like this content. And if you do, or you want to see where this is going to go in 2026 and follow our journey and our ride along, please subscribe and like this video, and we'll keep bringing you, we're going to try to release bi-weekly, at least for a while in 2026. And bring you guys some solid content. And then we got some guests and some other stuff going on. But, biggest thing is, everyone, Happy New Year. We hope you had a great New Year's Eve. We wish you health and happiness and major everything in your ADHD journey in 2026, and learning about yourself and helping others and all that stuff, and help us help everybody else. So, Mike, anything to add to that?
Hope everybody gets to add some major wins and a bunch of dopamine. For sure.
True that.
And I can't wait to get into some of the wild stories. Yeah, it's going to be fun.
Yeah,
I'll get a dopamine hit just from talking about it.
I know, right? I can see the smile on your face, man.
Yeah, man.
So that's good stuff. All right, everyone. Well, again, Happy New Year. We'll see you on the next one, and keep it moving. Keep exploring. Take it easy.
If you want more raw ADHD content, just follow the neon sign to our channel.